Hello students, welcome to Unorthodox Learning YouTube channel. I'm back again with one more poem, The Patriot. The Patriot is a dramatic monologue. Now what is a dramatic monologue? Please get ready with your book and pencil and write down the notes in your book itself. Dramatic monologue is a monologue. It means a single person who is not the poet utters the speech in a specific situation that makes up the whole of the poem. The poet speaks through the medium of an unimagined character and achieves the same objectivity that characterizes a drama. So this is a dramatic monologue, means said by one person and creates a drama scene, that is a monologue. The Patriot is a dramatic monologue. The Patriot has been declared a traitor for committing a political offense. Who is Patriot? I think you all know. Next is, let's begin with the poem. It was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed with in my path like mad. The house roof seemed to heave and sway. The church spires flamed, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. The Patriot has been declared a traitor for committing political offences, and he is remembering how he was welcomed, how he received a grand reception from the public a year ago. A year ago, he was welcomed warmly, and he received a grand reception from the public 1 year ago. What happened? What did the public do? It was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. Myrtle is a kind of flower, is a sweet smelling flower. It is a sweet smelling flower, and there were roses mixed with myrtle flower, which people spread on his way through and through. The people were very excited to get his glimpse, that they climbed on the roofs of the houses. The people, how did people welcome 1 year ago? People spread, or people threw roses mixed with myrtle flowers on the path, on the way of the Patriot, and they were gathered in such a large number. They were excited to get his glimpse, that they climbed on the roofs of the houses, which seemed to be swinging and swaying because of the crowd. They climbed up the house roofs, and because of the crowd, because of the large number of people, it seemed as if the house roofs are swaying. The church spires flamed, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. The church spires means minarets of the church, or the dome of the church, or the tower of the church. So the church spires flamed means they were shone, they were shining with bright light. They were decorated with flags. They were decorated with different colored flags, and these flags are the flags of victory. So the church spires, minarets were, or domes of the churches were shining with the light, decorated with colored flags. And when did it happen? It happened a year ago on this very day. On this very same day, a year ago, the Patriot was welcomed by his people, and these people spread roses mixed with myrtle flower on his way, and they were so large in number, they were so mad after him. They wanted to have a glimpse of the Patriot. They climbed the roofs, and it seemed as if the roofs are swaying, and the church minarets were decorated with flags and bright light. The church minarets were shining brightly a year ago on this very day. Next stanza. The air broke into a mist with bells. The old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Had I said, good folk, mere noise ripples. But give me your son from yonder skies. They had answered, and afterward, what else? The air broke. The air means the entire atmosphere. The air means the entire atmosphere broke into a mist with bells. That means it tells the frenzy of the people at the arrival of the Patriot. Bell rings to announce his coming, and the old walls of the building seemed to shake with the crowd and their loud cries. They were so large in number that the old walls of the buildings were rocking, were shaking because of their cries. They were raising slogans for the Patriot. They were raising slogans to welcome Patriot, and they were ringing bells to announce his coming. So it was a mist of bells. Mist means mixed sound. There is a mist in the morning. That means a fog and the mixed atmosphere. So there is mist with bells. That means mixed sound of bells and the sound of the raised slogans. So there was mist with bells. The old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Had I said good folk, mere noise repels. Now the house walls shake with the cries and thrills of the crowd. Had I said, the Patriot at that moment, at that time, a year ago, when he was warmly welcomed by the crowd, by the people, if he would have said to the common men, good folk means to his people, to the common men, if he would have said that this noise and slogan did not please him, if he would have said that these noises and slogans did not please me, but give me your sun from yonder sky, but give me that sun. Yonder sky means that sky which is there, which is at a distance. If I would have asked to the common people at that time that these noises and slogans did not please me, but I would be pleased if you give me that sun from your sky, then they would have replied in positive. They would have agreed to bring sun for me, and they would have asked me, and afterwards what else? Means after giving you the sun, what else we can offer you. With this we come to the end of second stanza. Now we shall begin with the third stanza. Alack, it was I who leaped at the sun to give it my loving friends to keep. Not man could do have I felt left undone, and you see my harvest what I reap. This very day, now a year is run. Now that year has passed. After one complete year, on the same day, the poet is regretting. The poet is said. The Patriot is said. He tried. He is saying alack. Alack means denoting that he is regretting that it was he who leaped at the sun. Who leaped at the sun. Leaped at the sun means he did everything which a man could do. He did everything which a man could do for his loving friends, for his public, for his people. He tried to do everything for his people. He left no stone unturned to make his people happy. And he regrets now after 1 year that he has done everything for his people to make his people happy. And you see my harvest. But what are his achievements? Harvest here means achievement. What I reap means what he has got as his reward. What he is saying, it was the speaker who went ahead to do everything possible in public's best interest. The speaker now feels dejected at his harvest. At his harvest means at his achievement, because what reward public is giving him now on this very day, Now a year is run. That means a year has passed, and what reward, what are my achievements, what I have got from the public when I had left no stone unturned for them. There is nobody on the housetops now to give it my loving friends to keep, for the best of the sight is all allow. Now the Patriot is saying that there is nobody. After 1 year, when the Patriot is declared as a traitor for committing political offense, there is nobody on the rooftops. Just a palside view at the window set, for the best of the sight is all allow. All allow. All allow means all have generally accepted. All have generally accepted. What? Best of the sight. Best of the sight means best view of Patriot being hanged. Now Patriot is being taken to the shallows, to the shamble gate, and now nobody is there at the housetops, only a palside people, just a palside few at the window set. Just a palside few. Just a palside few means those who knew that the Patriot was not guilty, that he had not committed any political offense. Such palside people who were invalid person, they were sitting at their window set because they could not say anything in favor of Patriot. That is why they were just sitting at their window set. Just the palside people, just the invalid person, a few invalid person were sitting at their window set, and they were looking at the Patriot. For the best of the sight, all allow. All others have generally accepted to have the best view of the Patriot being hanged. At the shambles gate, or better yet, by the very scaffolds I trove. At the shambles gate. Shambles gate means the gate leading to the place of execution. So all have generally accepted to go to the shambles gate to have the best view of execution. By the very scaffold's foot. Scaffolds means a raised platform of timber, of wood, on which criminal is executed. A raised platform of wood on which criminal is executed. So all have accepted to go quite near the scaffold to have a better view of execution. Either they have means there was no one at the house roofs at the house tops, because they might have gone to the shambles gate, or they might be standing near the scaffolds. What this Patriot is thinking, why they were not on the housetop, because they all have generally accepted to have the best view of Patriot's execution. I go in the rain, and more than needs, a rope cuts both my wrist behind, and I think by the field my forehead bleeds, for they fling whoever has a mind stones at me for my ears misdeed. For they fling whoever has a mind stones at me for my ears misdeed. I go in the rain. Patriot is saying, now this rain symbolizes the tense atmosphere. And more than needs, a rope cuts my wrist behind. And the one rope was there, and Patriot's wrists were tied with that rope behind him. His wrists were tied behind him with a rope which was longer than necessary. So this shows the helplessness, and this shows that this line shows the extent of speaker's downfall. His hands or his wrist are tied with a rope. This rope cuts his wrist, and the rain symbolize a very tense atmosphere here. And I think by the feel my forehead bleeds because his wrists are tied. The patriot's wrists are tied at his back. He feels as if his forehead is bleeding. Fling means through. They is used for the public, for the people. They threw stones, whoever has a mind, stones at me for my ears misdeed. The speaker's forehead bleeds because the public had thrown stones at him. He says whoever has a mind. Whoever has a mind means whosoever. People who were throwing stones had an active mind and were aware of his misdeed. They have thrown stones at him, and he could feel that his forehead is bleeding. He was thus I entered and thus I go. One more thing in this phrase, my ears misdeeds. This phrase adds to the ambiguity in the poem. As the speaker has been depicted as innocent by the poet, the readers tend to sympathize with him because poet again and again is stating the patriot as an innocent person. The readers tend to sympathize with him, but his own reference, here the patriot himself is saying my ears misdeed. His own reference to his ear as full of misdeeds creates ambiguity in the poem. Thus I entered and thus I go. Thus I entered means this is how I was warmly welcomed, and thus I go. Thus I go means this is how I entered, and thus I go means his departure is very humiliating. In triumphs, people have dropped down dead. This means the speaker believes that in victory, people drop down dead, but his imperfections will bring him closer to God. His imperfections will bring him closer to God. Now he says, in triumphs people have dropped down dead, paid by the world what dost thou owe me. God might question now instead. It is God shall repay, I am safer so. Now in these last lines, the patriot is saying, and the poem ends quite optimistically. He has entered the gates of death, and he believes in life after death, and now is ready to go to his life after death. He believes in life after death, and the speaker has resigned himself to his fate. Whatever is happening for his own good, because he is going to God and he is feeling safer in the hands of God. He says that God will repay me for my deeds and I am safer. So the patriot hopes that since he did not receive his reward in this world, he will be rewarded in the other world. He feels safe in the hands of God. It reflects poet's optimistic philosophy of life. And one more thing, the speaker says, I am safer so. The speaker feels safe in the other world. It suggests that he is innocent. Now the theme of the poem. The theme of the poem is public's fickle-mindedness. Public's fickle-mindedness means the public shows his dual nature. It's dual nature. People are dual natured. Means 1 year ago they were warmly welcoming the patriot in their town, and after 1 year they are gathered at the shambles gate to have the best view of his execution. The first theme is the fickle-mindedness of people, and then the next theme is rise and fall of glory. Rise and fall of glory means 1 year ago he was welcomed by the public with roses and myrtle, and after 1 year he got his departure was humiliating. And the next theme is faith in God. One is public's fickleness, second is rise and fall of glory, and third is faith in God. Patriot firmly believed in God and he feels safer in the next world. He's thinking that he would be more safe in the next world and he would be rewarded by God, because he was not rewarded in this world. He would be rewarded by God. And now some poetic devices which are used in this poem. First is alliteration. Alliteration is used in this line. Myrtle mixed in my path. Alliteration is used because the sound of letter M is repeated. And the next line in which alliteration is used is the church spires flamed such flags they had. The sound of F, letter F, is repeated. And the next line, in triumphs people have dropped down dead. In triumphs people have dropped down dead. In this line also alliteration is used. Now personification is used in the line, the house roof seemed to heave and sway. This is because the roofs of the houses have been given the human characteristics of swaying. These are some poetic devices, main poetic devices, literary devices which are used in this poem. Thank you. Now please subscribe to Unorthodox Learning and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Hit that like button if you enjoyed learning. And please write down your doubts in the comment section. Thank you.